sir, congratulations. Tell me what this award means to you tonight.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, almost exactly a year ago, I won an Olivier in London, which, of course, as you know, is the equivalent of the Tony. But you know, I don't think you ever expect awards, but I was grateful for the Olivier. But this is because it's Broadway and it's not my native turf. I was just so thrilled to have it. I mean, I'm standing in that theatre tonight, and the whole damn place stood up. 6,000 people. I mean, that's World Cup stuff. Eat your heart out, Wayne Rooney, I said to myself, really. I mean, that is fantastic. It was so exciting.
Well, of course, I fell in love with your work in the early 70s with Absurd Person Singular and everything through then.
Yeah.
Would you talk about some of you talked about 59, E59 and Lynn Meadow. Talk about some of those people who have been trumpeters of your work over the past few years.
Producing, Michael Codron, of course, was my London producer, and I had the Normans last year was actually the second time we'd had the Normans on Broadway, because the first time, I meant to say this in my speech, but the good people of New York embraced me and said, hey, this looks exciting, this is a young dramatist with 3 plays opening, let's name a street after him. And so Ayckbourn Alley went on, and I saw the picture of it, and I went, that's nice. And then the plays didn't perform quite as they were expected to perform, and they took it down again. And But Absurd Person, of course, was the other big hit for me, and that ran Absurd Person Singular, and that ran for 18 months, which is quite a good run for modern Broadway. I mean, that was good for a straight play. But then after that, a lot of my work got done by the Manhattan Theatre Club, as I mentioned, Lynn Meadow, but my first love is always small theatre, really, and although I've done a lot, I've had over nearly 30 plays on in London in the big conventional cross-arch theatres. My heart really rests with a little tiny theatre in the Round up on the northeast coast, which I ran as an artistic director for 40 years, and I've only just retired from, and it premiered 70 of my plays. Probably. I mean, I'm coming up for 74. I'm just about to direct it next month.
You brought internet exchanges to 59 E59 a few years ago.
Yeah, we took all 8 of them, and that was fantastic. And I loved that about East 59. They said, well, how many do you want to bring? And I said, let's bring them all. And they said, okay. I said, you're balmy. We can't even get the set on the stage. And they had to repack it every night, and then another version would come on, and a lot of people came back 8 and 9 times to see them, and a lot of the critics came 6 or 7 times, and it was wonderful.
And what it meant to you last year with bringing the Norman Conquest back to Broadway, what it meant to you having it back on Broadway and receiving so many accolades?
Well, it was great. I mean, but Matthew Warchus, who directed them and did such a wonderful job, I must thank him, and Kevin Spacey, of course, who runs the Vic now in London. And they came to see me and they said, we'd like to convert the Vic into the Round. And I said, no, don't convert a perfectly good proscenium theatre into the Round. That won't work. So they persuaded me, and they did a wonderful job on it. And the plays were actually done on the scale that I'd intended them to be done, because they all started in a small-scale theatre in the Round. And afterwards I said to Matthew, and this makes me feel my age, why on earth did you choose to do them in the Round? He said, well, when I was at school near York, I used to come and see your theatre every few months, and I always see your plays in the Round, and I just thought that's the way they ought to be done. And I thought, this little schoolboy sitting there, who's now become this mega director, and I felt a little bit proud of that.
So if you could sum up tonight, what does tonight mean to you, sir?
Well, it's like the top of the ladder, and in my speech I said, this is my first, not a bad beginning, or it could be my last. And what a hell of a way to finish.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good to see you.